All right, we just got through Genesis 4:10. God was telling Cain that he heard Abel's blood crying from the ground. Now we're on to verse 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth, it's God talking to Cain. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat Mahujal, and Mahujal begat Methusael, and Methusael begat Lamech. Struggle with the names a little bit, get over it. And we're talking about Cain. There's something that comes up from this that everybody uses to disprove the Bible or dispute it. You know, maybe atheists to be like, the Bible's stupid, look. Because it talks about Adam and Eve being the first humans, and then Cain came out the garden, and now all of a sudden there's people out there wanting to kill him. Like, do what now? Why would that be true? That's actually a good question by itself. Why would they want to kill him? What does it say? Be a fugitive and a vagabond on the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Why would they wouldn't know? Why would they want to slay him? They wouldn't know that what he had done unless he told them. So, like, where did he get this idea that they were just immediately going to slay him just because he was a fugitive and like, how would they know that God had kicked him out? That's crazy. Unless Adam and Eve had a lot more kids that it didn't tell us about. I don't know. But anyway, that goes straight into what people usually argue with, is they say that Adam and Eve, they were the first people. Why were there more people there? There's a whole bunch of different theories out there. I kind of like to think maybe there were humans. They didn't have a soul. I don't know how it balances. Like, it is confusing. Let's see if we can't come up with an answer for you. All right. Yeah, I think it would just have to be that there were people out on the earth before, and Adam and Eve were the ones that were given the breath of life from God. So maybe Adam and Eve, they're all descendants, or all the Israelites are descendant of Adam and Eve, because then the flood came, and Noah was a descendant of Adam, and then Jacob came, and then Israel came from that. So maybe the Gentiles are the ones here that Cain is referring to. The Gentiles hadn't gotten that soul or that breath of life from God yet, and then Jesus came to give life to the Gentiles. Looks like that might be reasonable there. There might be some truth in that. Let's keep going. So Methusael just begat Lamech, and Lamech took unto him 2 wives. No double whammy. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other was Zillah. And Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. That's kind of cool. And Zillah She also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, Hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, She hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son. He called his name Enos. And then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. Only then people started calling on the name of the Lord. Does that mean Adam and Eve weren't calling on the name of the Lord? They a little too upset? I mean, I wouldn't blame them. That's an interesting verse. If anybody knows anything else about that verse, and then men began to call upon the name of the Lord. Why did it take so long for them to start doing that? Adam and Eve were still alive. That's one cool thing I was gonna say something about as well. Like Cain's like having all like grandkids, great grandkids, like all the way down to Lamech. Let's see, he's had Enoch, Irad, Mahujael, and then Methusael, and then Lamech. So that's what, 5 generations. Like we wouldn't even consider. Like I don't even know who was before me 5 generations ago. Like I got grandparents, and then had a couple great grandparents. But that is cool. And if I'm assuming, they were living almost 1,000 years. They probably still looked fairly young. I don't know how that worked. Did they look old at the same time that we start to look old? Or was the aging process just completely slowed? Because then you think you'd be, a kid for 100-something years, Which would be cool, I guess. I also saw, that connects to another theory when I was reading about the tree of life, that they had eaten from the tree of life, and that's why they lived so long, because they were having some after effects. And to live forever with the tree of life, you have to keep eating from it. Which to me kind of takes away from the tree of life, because you would think it'd be, eat of this fruit, and you're going to live forever, But I could see that also being true, that you got to keep eating from it to keep living forever. I've seen it compared to Jesus, you drink of his water, you'll never thirst again. So why did it take them so long to call upon the name of the Lord? I don't know. I hope you do. The other part that we just kind of skipped over there, Lamech just all of a sudden killed somebody. Doesn't say who he killed, doesn't say anything else about it. Just slain a man to his hurt, slain a man to his wounding, and he's going to be avenged 77-fold because Cain was avenged 7-fold. I'm not terribly sure if that's something I would want to stack on, like he killed somebody, he's going to be, well, I killed somebody too, I'm going to be avenged too. I'm not saying it's not true, but I have always been confused about that one. Like, all of a sudden he just killed somebody. That didn't really say anything else about it. Maybe it does, and I've just missed it. It is really easy to miss stuff in here. I'm sure there's been stuff I could have talked about that I just didn't, that we've read so far. We're kind of got a little shorter video today. We just ended chapter 4, so we could go into chapter 5, but maybe we'll save that for the next one. Because we're almost to Noah's Ark, aren't we? Yeah, we're almost there. Getting into the wickedness of the world. Soon after that. The next one, some genealogies. I don't really have anything to talk about, so maybe let's read through chapter 5 real quick. I think it's just a bunch of genealogies, but if we got something to stick on and talk about, maybe, yeah, we can do that. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and begat a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth. And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. Okay. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. And Seth lived after he begat Enos 807 years and begat sons and daughters. So again, it's only going through the firstborn for the most part. I think sometimes it goes into some other one. I guess Seth wasn't the firstborn. He was thirdborn son, right? And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 90 years and begat Canaan. And Enos lived after he begat Canaan 815 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 70 years and begat Mahalalel. And Canaan lived after he begat Mahalalel 840 years and begat sons and daughters. All the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 605 years and begat Jared. And Mahalalel lived after he begat Jared 830 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begot Enoch. And Jared lived after he begat Enoch 800 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. A lot of dying. And Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years, and he begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. A whole lot of dying except for Enoch. Ain't that's not fair. Why did he not get to not die? Because he walked with God. Was he not? Is he the only one? No, there were two. I think Elijah also, right? I guess we'll get there in a second. Maybe. No, we don't. We'll get there later, don't we? It's not yet. That goes into one theory, that Enoch is one of the two prophets that comes back in the end times, because I think it says somewhere in the Bible that we'll all die, we'll all taste death. Or no, we won't taste death. Our bodies will all die. So I don't know, maybe I'm just making that part up. Ignore that a little bit, I guess. And he was taken, and Methuselah lived 187 years and begat Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begat Lamech 782 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years and begat a son. And he called his name Noah, saying, This same shall comfort us concerning our works and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed. That's what we're getting to here in a second. Noah. There we go. And Lamech lived after he begat Noah 595 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, and then we're getting into Noah right after that. So I think it just gave us, those genealogies straight up to Noah. And then we're going to get a little bit more into the story. That's kind of cool. There's almost certainly some importance into those names. I saw somebody had, you can get ChatGPT to do this too, translate all the names in order of the generations, and it tells the story of Jesus. Now, I don't have that laid out in front of me, but you can do that in front of your own. Be like, ChatGPT, give me Hebrew meanings of names in Bible, and it'll spit them all out. Say, in order, tell me the story of Jesus. Cool. So that was maybe some of the more boring part, reading through all those. How are they living so long? It's a great question, but it's not long after this. God puts that restriction on our age, that we can only live up to 120 years. But there's people that have lived over 120 years. I don't know how that works either. Guess we'll find out. We'll ask God about that. But we're going into chapter 6. We'll do that in the next one. Let's go on and pray it out. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the people watching this video. Thank you for the plants in my yard. They really do look great. Maybe I'm supposed to have my eyes closed when I pray. I'm not sure, but that plant does look nice. Thank you so much for those. Jesus, your will be done on the earth and in the hearts and minds and souls of the people that are watching this video. And I reckon also for me and my wife and my neighbors and everybody else. Jesus will never appreciate you enough, but that's what makes you who you are. In your name I pray, amen.